Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Cataclysm. Classic Cataclysm. Back again on our Death Knight, where we will be continuing off what we had last time, completely eviscerating ghosts, spirits, and everything else. And, all that fun jazz. It is Monday. I hope everybody had a great weekend, and had a good time last week. I know I went a little overboard with the videos last week, but that's primarily because I wanted to see what people want to watch. And I'm going to take a different approach this week, I believe. So, my approach this week is going to be sort of set up in a way where I'm going to have certain videos be posted on certain days. I thought about it. I listened to Hick in my in the comments of my videos, and I am still deciding things. I'm still going to try and rebrand and change my name to something else, but I'm not really too sure yet. I get putting Warcraft in my title and my stuff like that will probably like grab people's attention, or Blizzard's attention, I should say, which is fair, absolutely fair. I could see that, you know. The thing, though, with that, is that I would be surprised if I don't get Blizzard's attention. Due to the fact of that I do both Cataclysm and private server videos, I figured that it'll be an eventuality. But, you know, I can hope that it could be like Mr. GM. I mean, Mr. GM's position, he started his channel doing private server stuff until he went back to retail, and Blizzard took note of him pretty early. And when he went to, you know, normal Warcraft instead of, you know, private servers, that's when he started getting a lot of attention from Blizzard and getting spoiled by Blizzard, in my opinion. But hey, you know, maybe not everybody's lucky. And I'm probably not that lucky. But, one can dream. one could dream. That I can grab Blizzard's attention for ideas and other types of things. I think a lot. I have ideas that I like to see prescribed into the game that I think might be beneficial. I don't want to toot my own horn or anything. But I'm a big classic head, so I at least classic minded. I wish I'd be bigger. I mean, more eyes on me would be wonderful. But that's how it goes. So this week I'm gonna set things up in a way that kind of makes sense for me. So I am gonna take advice and say that I'm gonna do primarily this. I'm gonna do my Death Knight this week. I'm gonna do it on a Monday, and I'll do it for today on Monday, and I'll do it for Wednesday. And then, I'll do private servers on the other days, for Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. I'm gonna try and do streams this week. Gonna try to. I'm not really sure how well it's gonna go, but I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna have streams set up for certain weeks to play certain games, and hopefully it works out. At least put myself in a scheduled position, which I will probably make a post on Monday, not Monday, on Sunday about it, probably before my Sunday stream. I'm gonna put it down as the plan, essentially. And hopefully when I do something like that, it'll let you guys be better informed of when I go live and stuff, instead of relying just solely on the notification system. That and how YouTube posts works, I don't know. I mean, I would assume that it goes straight to my subscribers, but sometimes I'll get people's polls and posts from channels that I have no clue about. So, if it helps bring attention to us, to our little community, our growing community. It's definitely something I'm gonna do, for sure. So do keep an eye out for posts and stuff like that. And I'm gonna do polls more often too, so that way you guys can interact a little bit more with my channel. Because I know there's a lot of people who watch my stuff, but don't leave comments, which is fair. I'm not saying that you should. I always say if you like to, if you want to, don't be shy to leave comments. Because I like to do polls on stream ideas. Because I'm going to be kind of vague. I'm going to say that I'm going to play a game, but I'm not going to tell you what character I'm going to play. That you'll have to find out during that day. But if I do it like a poll system for it, I can at least get a better idea of what you guys like to see. So, with all that in mind, do subscribe to the channel if you have made it this far. Like the video and all that kind of stuff. All that jazz. We're trying to get to 150 subs. We hit 60 by the recording of this video, so we're getting there. We got 90 more to go, guys. 90 more subscribers, and we'll be tight by the end of the year. So, with all that in mind, getting properly into the video. I know it took a while to get to this part. Longer than it probably should have, yeah. We're going to be cleaning up down here. We're going to be cleaning up the, this entire area. We're going to get ourselves our Hellfire Spine Leaf and all that stuff. I do want to do an overview of Death Knight back in the day. Especially, you know, that I'm playing it right now. And not a lot of people know how old Death Knight used to be. But it used to be a little bit more flexible. Now, when they did the Legion, I think it is Legion, overhaul of the classes and stuff, they made each class have more refined abilities tuned to what spec they're playing. Which some people liked, I did not. Because you have to work out a lot of stuff versus how they remade it. Like, Unholy Death Knight? I used to be an Unholy Death Knight for years and years and years. And then when Legion came out and reworked how Unholy worked, I was very disappointed. Granted, you know, having more class identity is one thing, you know, it makes it fun. But the problem is that they got rid of my Icy Touch. They kept the Plague Strike. They did all that stuff. And honestly, it's like, I understand why they did it. For what reason they did it. And it's, you know, all that kind of stuff. Like, I get it. I understand. But, not really too enthused about it. I mean, a lot of people were. The class identity stuff kind of shifted. They made it more pet-based system, which is great, because that's pretty much how it's supposed to be. But, here's the but. They made it so diseased-focused that it did a lot of damage, and they nerfed it into the ground for years because of just that pure reason alone. And I don't think they were really thinking really too hard about it. They nerfed Frost into the ground for a time, at least for me it was. Where I was... See, I used to be a big PvP nut. And during BFA and other expansions after the Legion rework, I would see Frost Death Knights do tons of damage. I've seen Unholy Death Knights do tons of damage, but when I played them, it really sucked. Like, I tried. Granted, I tried my hardest to get all of that damage that other people were doing, and I was getting envious, like, very envious at the time. And I didn't know what I was doing wrong. But after a while, I found out that some Death Knights are better than me, and I slowly stopped playing Death Knight. So me going back again to play Death Knight on a version of Death Knight that I love the most is definitely something I'm gonna take advantage of and take, you know, care for and all that stuff, because this is one of my favorite iterations of Death Knight. It is one of my favorite iterations. I love this version of the Death Knight. So basically how it works is actually relatively simple. You just put dots on things and then you use Scourge Strike. That's it. There's not a lot of butt management. There's not a whole lot going on. Scourge Strike deals extra 18 additional damage on top based on how many plagues I put on somebody. Also, Blood Boil does the same thing. It does additional damage if you have the diseases on people. The pet is not overtly strong. It's not meant to tank for you. It's not like hunter pets. Essentially, all it really chops into really is just that just does a lot of damage, quick damage, you know? And I loved it. I love it. I get it when they reworked it, and I know it's an unpopular opinion. I'm fully aware that it's an unpopular opinion. But I sincerely hated the class identity for Unholy Death Knights. I think it was dumb. I don't think it's appealing. They got rid of a lot of what made Unholy Death Knights strong. Like, of course, you know, when you play something for so long that when it changes even just a little bit, I'm sure a lot of people know what I'm talking about. If it changes just a little bit, suddenly you feel like you've lost grasp of what you're supposed to be, you know, into. Like for example, like, how to explain it? Like, you play one class for so long that was unchanged for so long. The only thing that changed was the damage every patch because of nerfing and other types of things that make the class need to be toned down, you know? Like, yeah, you have to work with the constant fluctuation of damage, but you still make it work, right? You still make it work. But that's how I was for a long time, and that when they changed how Unholy operated, completely operated, you know, they got rid of my Frost runes, my Blood runes. Suddenly, my Death Strike had to take runic power to use and stuff. I was disappointed. I want to say disappointed. Because I was so used to one thing for so long that doing it another way just foreign. Absolutely foreign to me. And Death Knights already were strong. I mean, shit. I wouldn't be surprised right now if I ran through Hellfire Ramparts by myself. Just because of how much damage a Death Knight can do. Especially Blood Death Knights. It was a meme back in the day. Maybe if I do a stream about Death Knight, about this Death Knight, if I do a stream on this Death Knight, I could show videos to the audience. I can show how crazy stupid Death Knight was back in the day. There was a famous Death Knight, I forgot his name because it's been some time ago, but he became famous, really became famous, for soloing raid bosses as a Blood Death Knight to show pretty much how stupid strong Death Knights were, especially back in the day. And like, it's insane how just dummy mode Death Knight was back in the day. And trust me, when you watch a Death Knight who's level 85 solo heroic Lich King on 25 man, I think it was, or 10 man, something like that, you gotta sit there and think, he's only 5 levels above Lich King, technically. Well, technically 2. Because I think Lich King back in the day, even though it was a skull, it counted him as like level 83. Just being 2 levels above. Granted, it took him like an hour to do, I think it was. Or at least 40 minutes. He just soloed the Lich King. Chewed through all the mechanics. Absorbed all the damage. Just Death Strike spammed. And he just didn't die. That's just like how stupidly overpowered freaking Death Knights were back then. They were absolutely just atrocious. They were quite literally quite atrocious. And trying to recreate that, you know, it's very hard to do. I mean, it's possible, but it's just really hard to do sometimes. I know that I can do it. I've done it in the past where I can solo dungeons, but not raids. Eventually, though, I might do something along those lines, like series on stream and stuff, where I'll just solo raids. I'm thinking that's what I can do, because I love doing that. I love solo content like that, especially trying to get transmog. You know, it's really fun to do. If you like to see streams like that, I can. I could definitely do that. I can do all that kind of stuff. I love solo content. I know it beats the purpose of an MMORPG, but I like solo sometimes. Sometimes, not all the time. But, yeah, I could do that. I've done it before on streams where I'll try to farm cloth and I'll just solo dungeons, because that's to be honest, the easiest way for me to get cloth. Quite honestly, it's the easiest way for me to get cloth. And I know it could sometimes be boring, I guess, to some people to watch, because I'm usually careful. I'm usually extremely careful when it comes to my solo attempts at dungeons, because I know damn well that I will die if I don't pay attention. So, that's why I say streams, because it will take a long time, not really a video. I'm also going to be changing up how my warrior is going to operate. I think I'm going to show bits and pieces. I'm going to try and do something, test something out. So, I showed the beginning, I showed the first dungeons, you know, and I think I'm going to work on him until he's level 58, and then I'll do another video of just walking in TBC, doing a couple TBC maybe doing a TBC dungeon, doing a little bit of this, a little bit of that 1 week for 2 videos. And then the next week over, I'll try to get into Wrath of the Lich King stuff and show that, and then eventually make it to Cataclysm, and then do the whole 5 levels from 80 to 85 in a week. And we'll try to, anyway, and do it that way. Because, you know, I can keep the formula going of just every little bit's, you know, saved and stuff. But I got the idea from Hit, where he says just jump around a little bit. So I'm gonna try that with that warrior, with our warrior, and see if it intrigues you guys, if it makes you guys want to watch more, not less.
Strength and honor.
Because I know endgame content is more important in some cases. In some cases. So
Speak. Farewell.
I am going to take that into account. If we had more of our community, if we had more community on in game as well as in the channel and stuff,
Blood and
I could definitely do like
taboo.
I can definitely do a lot of stuff. Like, well, I'm not gonna say a lot of stuff, but we can do raids, we can do dungeons, we can do stuff to actually bring more end-game content to the channel and get you guys actually directly involved, which, you know, I would like to think that you guys would be very interested in. Especially, you know, playing the game with me and stuff like that. Because I know there's some people out there that will just do anything. That will do anything to play with their favorite YouTuber slash streamer, you know. And I've seen it. I've seen it happen. As a Asmon Gold watcher, I've seen it. I've seen people go ballistic crazy trying to play around with him in the game and stuff. So I understand that there are some people out there that might be interested in that. And I could definitely, you know, do that. Yeah, it's no big deal. So I like to do it. Do a homegrown community and do content with that. That will definitely bring at least some bit of attention to what we're doing.
What's up? Keep it real.
And I'd be totally down for it. So, alright, we got a lot of quests here. We're making a little bit of gold. I'm thinking that when I get enough gold, I will buy flying. I'm not gonna just save or anything because I do want to get the flying as soon as possible. But that also comes down to also, like, if I get flying, I'm not gonna be flying in Wrath of the Lich King yet. Not until my Warlock gets enough money, I guess. Which I have been doing off screen, trying to get money. I started an alt to do gathering professions, and I'm going to be leveling him off screen. He's not going to be important, but I'm going to try and figure out a way to make gold off screen so that way these guys, this guy in particular, my warrior, has the money and the funds to get the flying done, at least. Get the flying, get the improvements and stuff. That way, I'm not always on the ground. So, that's gonna be a thing too. Also, I don't know if it would be a good idea, so I'm gonna ask you guys in this video. I got into a gacha game. Now, I'm a big Azure Lane fan. And I talked about it maybe once. That I would like to do streams on mobile games too. With mobile games. And the thing with Azure Lane, though, is the fact that Azure Lane has become more erotic with every new event. And I realize that it's soon going to be not, it's not going to be friendly for YouTube for very long. And, it leads into this. A new gacha game came out called Uma Musume. It is a horse racing girl anime style, game. And show, anime, honestly. And, I kind of want to, I want to know if it would be a good idea if I start doing streams of that game in particular. Because I'm really falling in love with the game. I've fallen in love with the show as fast as I have with the game. And I know that I mainly do Warcraft content, and honestly, it's fair if you guys don't want to see that. That's honestly fair. But I do want to at least set my channel up to where I can be flexible, where it's not all just Warcraft. So these are sort of some suggestions, like ideas that I have. If you guys like to see me branch out a little bit away from Warcraft, at least not permanently. Like maybe a video set aside, a stream set aside for something not Warcraft related. I've already got a plan for that. I think Fridays I'm gonna do something different on Fridays. And I kind of also want to do, I want to have a stream on Friday as well. I know I do it on some Fridays, but I want to make it more grounded. So, I'm going to try and come up with cool titles to name streams. And try to, you know, give you guys something that rolls off the tongue. Titles that roll off the tongue and all that jazz. Somebody up there? Yeah. Oh, somebody was up there. So, essentially, I do have something planned for Friday. If I do a stream Friday, which I hope I have the energy for, should have the energy for, maybe. I'm gonna be doing something called Fusion Friday. And all it is Pokemon Infinite Fusion. So I don't think anybody in my channel knows what that is. It's a Pokemon game, which Nintendo might rear its head eventually for. Hope not. But essentially, it's you're taking two Pokemon, you fuse them together and make a god-awful, you know, crime against humanity type of looking creature. Sometimes. And you work it. You work out the Pokemon and stuff like that. And I want to do something called Fusion Friday, where I play Pokemon Fusion on stream. I'm not gonna make videos on it because I ain't gonna do that. Try to do streams on it. I'm also gonna try and do streams throughout the rest of the week if I can manage it. I'm gonna try to. And essentially what that will pretty much entail is, like, I'll do my deathknight today, but I might do my warlock on stream later. Or my warrior. And on Wednesday, when I do the second video for this, for Wednesday, I'll probably do a stream where I am playing my deathknight, so we can bounce around with that. And then when I do an Ascension video, I'll try to do Ascension afterwards. If I do Turtle Wow, I'll try to do Turtle Wow afterwards. So I kind of want to set myself up to where my video uploads coincides with with the particular game that I'm going to be playing that day. You know? I want to try and do something that's going to, like, be fun, entertaining, and at the same time be like, yeah, you guys know what's going to come today for streams and stuff. I'm trying to find out some unique ways of trying to, like, bring the content out for you guys in good ways, in ways that, like, you know, you guys can get behind, you know? So, trying to, anyway. Because you guys deserve better than what I'm doing now. And I think you guys deserve more than what I'm giving. And with that, you know, it's the end of the episode. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. and giving you guys the rundown. If you have, please subscribe to the channel if you want more, because I'm going to try and do more. Ring the bell for notifications to let you guys know when I'm uploading or when I go live. And if you leave a like on the video as well, it gives us better engagement. And do leave a comment down below. Comment anything you want. It don't matter, as long as it's within reason. And until next time, guys, peace out.